We are now live. Hello, everybody in Facebook land. This is Myra Eagle with eXp Realty and my special guest, David Young,
Hey,
area
Myra,
manager from Cardinal Financial.
how are you doing this beautiful Friday morning?
Great. What is it? Happy Red Rose Day today.
Ooh, there's a holiday for everything, it seems like, huh?
Yeah, we have a national holiday calendar, social media holiday. So what are you going to be informing us today of a special tip?
Yeah, so today's going to be just a real simple rent versus own. And this is something that takes, 2 minutes to put together for people. All I really need is what area that they're considering buying in, how much they're currently paying in rent, what they want their house payment to be. And literally, we can go backwards and figure out exactly what it is that they're going to be able to qualify for. And also, what makes the most sense for them. And show them how much appreciation that they're going to get over time, because there's so many people that said they want to wait, and they want to wait, and they want to wait. And the problem with a lot of times waiting is that, you plan on renting for a year, and then that year goes by really quick, and then it becomes 2 years, and then that 3-4 years go by quick, and you're like, oh my goodness, what have I done? So let me show you a little bit about how simple it is to get out of renting and buying a house. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. So let's just say, there's some people, you guys see my screen here, some people don't know what their purchase price is, and if they're military, they get a basic allowance for housing. But let's just do something real simple and go to your desired monthly payment, right? So I think a lot of times, that $1,500 mark, give or take. I know rents could be as low as $1,200. Some people, if you get the added garage and the better parking space, you can get up to $2,000 a month and rent pretty quickly.
Right.
I know that the area that I'm in, it's not uncommon to see people at, $2,500 a month up to like $3,000 a month. And I'm like, oh my gosh, as a finance guy, I'm like, oh, you can buy a house for that. But hey, we're just going to look at something simple, $1,500 a month. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds super.
All right. So as you can see, $1,500 a month. Let's say you've only got 5% to put down. Super easy to save up that amount of money. If you're not sure why or how, let me know. Somebody with fair credit, this is a 3.5% rate that it's showing on there. I would say rates are a little bit closer to 3% on today's market. It's a fluke, but and 30-year fixed. And this is just a basic program, nothing wonky going on there, no government assistance, no down payment assistance. This is just a very clean and no prepayment penalty loan. So I'm just going for simple today. There's a lot of other variances we could look at. Well, let's look at something easy, right? And so we're looking at Florida, and I just clicked Duval out of any of them, but what county should I look at? What would be a good county?
Charlotte and Sarasota.
What is that?
Charlotte or Sarasota?
Okay, so let's do Charlotte since it's right here.
Okay.
Right, and so this is going to calculate the numbers based off of Charlotte, right? So I call this Myra's Rent versus Own, right? And that way I can save it and email it to you. So, what is this $1,500 a month going to get you in Charlotte, right? And these are just all estimates, right? It could get you, approximately a 1,585 square foot home, according to, the system that this pulls from, right? Your effective tax rate, your monthly homeowner's insurance, right? Your annual property tax increase, repairs, right? Or HOA. Do you have a lot of HOA dues in your area or not?
Yes, and they vary from 100 up to 650.
Yep. So there you go. There's 103 that's varying, and then your cost to sell your home is 6%, of course, right? And so you can really change whatever you want. You can change it to $1,800 a month rent, 27. It looks like this is comparable rent in Charlotte County, right? So its average is about $1,800 a month, and then renter's insurance is about $27 a month. So that's interesting. Let me change this number up to $1,800 a month just to give us what's average for Charlotte County, right? All right. And so we can look at the loan. We can make it any assumptions that we wanted to in here, right? We can change the mortgage insurance. We can change the closing costs. Mortgage insurance is going to be based on your credit, right? And then we're looking at 9 years before selling. Some people want to stay in their home later. I would say just because rates are so low, people are probably going to stay in their home a little bit longer. We'll call it, we're looking at a 30-year term, but let's say they sell it after 15, right? And we're still looking at Florida. Historical appreciation is pretty good for your area, 3.37%. But it's forecasted at 4.36. That is really, really good so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I mean, all these are good numbers, right? So let me come back up to the top here, and we're going to look at your monthly cash flow. So you've got your principal and interest, your rent, and your rent after 15 years, right? And so this is really kind of breaking down how much you're going to be saving and or spending, right? So your cash flow over time, look at the difference: 330 versus 487%, right? And that's at a 3% interest rate, 3.640 APR. The annual rent increase is always around 3%, right? So this is
Yeah.
the interest rate on your mortgage. This is your increase in rent, right? Cash flow difference: $157,116. So just in cash flow, you're going to be the average person, is going to save in your county $157,000. These aren't guesstimates, right? This is using historical data, right? This is using, Charlotte County, Florida. I mean, that's huge, right? Appreciation gain, right? So everybody wants their home to appreciate over time. I mean, homes were cheaper 30 years ago than they are today, right? Who would argue that fact, right? Everything was cheaper. A car was cheaper 30 years ago, right? I mean, holy crap. My wife wanted this truck and it was $60,000. And I was like, oh, I'm going to die. My grandpa bought a truck in the 80s and it was only like $5,000. And it was like awesome. It had all the newest stuff on it for $5,000. I was like, man, how things have changed, right?
Yes.
So you're going to see $265,000 in gain, right? So this is the starting value of the home. So if you're paying $1,800 a month, you probably can afford something at almost $300,000. So why are people renting when they could get a $300,000 house almost, right? I mean, holy Toledo, right?
You get a really nice home for that price here in Charlotte County.
Oh my goodness, right? I mean, this is why, and don't get me wrong, I'm a landlord, right? But this is why landlords make so much more money than the person that's like, yeah, I'll just rent, right? Because renters are consumers, landlords are producers, right? Anytime you're a producer and not a consumer, if you're making money, not spending money, right? Watching Netflix is cheap. It's only like 10, 15 bucks a month, right? But then you're a consumer. But if you're the one that's making the movies, you could be making millions of dollars, right? So just think of it that way. Anytime that you're a consumer, it's costing you money. Anytime you're a producer, it's making you money, right?
Yeah.
Amortization gain, $110,000, right? So after 15 years, your remaining principal balance is only $172, right? So you're going to be able to sell your home for that. Cost to sell, so real estate commissions are 6%, right? So this is based on a $562,000. So you buy this home today. When you sell it in 15 years, it's going to be worth just over $500,000, right? And that's just going off of historical appreciation, no fake numbers in there, right? Standard deduction, 22% tax bracket. So it's figuring all that information in here, right?
Wow.
Net gain. Look at this. Net gain by buying a house. Paying your average rent, buying that house that you're going to qualify for rather than renting. Your net gain over that 15 years is almost $500,000. If your boss called you and said, hey, you stick with me for 15 years, I'll give you an extra 500,000. A lot of people say, thumbs up, right? No one can pass on that, right?
Wait, I'm getting a call. Hey.
I know, right? Right? So, I mean, it figures in everything. Your initial closing cost, right now we can have the sellers pay for the closing cost. That's why it's so easy to put down that 3 or that 5% down payment, right? Cash flow difference. You know, it's minusing out your cost to sell. But because your appreciation gain and your amortization gain outweighs all of that. So, and you can use this as like a sliding scale. Let's say, hey, listen, I think that I don't want to be in Charlotte for forever, right? We can change all of this, right? You could say, hey, I think I'm just going to be there for 5 years. Well, dang, it still makes sense to rent, because even though it's costing you to sell, you're still going to make $88,000 in 5 years, right? Well, I'm going to be here for 2 years and retire. Still makes more sense than renting, right?
Wow.
It's not as sexy or glamorous, but $8,000, I'd take $8,000 over nothing any day of the week, right? Let's say you're like, hey, I'm going to retire here. What's my difference between renting and buying, right? I want to look at 30 years before selling. Oh, it's not updating correctly. Florida. It's just not. All right, technical difficulties. 492. It's not going to do 30. All right. Well, we'll just keep it at 15 years. We'll do 20 for breaks. No, we'll keep it at 15. So whatever reason, yeah, we could do 7 years. $155,000. You can really plug in whatever amount of time, and you see how it updates instantly. So, if you have questions and you're like, hey, Myra, I only plan on living here for, 3 to 5 years. What is my net gain by buying versus renting? And literally, we can do this up for you in less than 3 minutes, like literally. And we can send you a little slider tracker so that you can kind of figure the numbers on your own. So if you're like, hey, I don't know if I really want to buy yet, I'm a little scared, I don't know what the future is going to bring, I think that this takes away a lot of that fear. What do you think, Myra?
I would think so. Someone would know that why would I want to pay $1,800 a month to the landlord so he can pay his mortgage? Why don't I get my own home, an asset, an investment, put my $1,800 towards that?
Yeah, exactly. It just makes a world more sense, right? And you're getting your appreciation, plus you're getting your principal reduction. I mean, even with the cost of buying and the cost of selling, you're just up by so much. Look, 7 years, $155,000. That's crazy. Look, it shows you all the way to 10. If you move in the first year, yeah, it's going to cost you. You're going to go negative, right? But 2 years, you're immediately positive. So years go by quick. I feel years go by quick, don't you?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean, I just realized I've been in my house for 5 years. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna shoot this over to you, Myra, so that you can share this with anybody who's curious about this video. And it's got a little sliding scale on it, so you can slide it back and forth and figure out your time frame. And maybe you're only paying $1,500 a month in rent. We can still show you, what your net gain is by that. You name it,
Yeah.
And we can adjust it. Look, $1,500 a month, and you're going to be there for 7 years, $129,000.
Wow.
Yeah? Well, I'm only going to be there for 3 years. Okay, $27,000. 2 years, $6,500. But I guarantee a decade passes pretty quick, and that's $222,000.
That's another room.
Yeah. Buy one, get one free, right? Let's say you got a crazy good deal and you're only paying $1,200 a month in rent. yeah, I've got a great deal. I'm only paying $1,200 a month in rent, which is significantly cheaper than anywhere else in Charlotte, right?
Right.
Let's look down. 7 years, still 103. $5,000. Even if you're gonna, hey, let's say it's not your dream house. You just want to have something for the next 2 years until you buy your dream house. Buy it from Myra. You'll have, look at this right here, an extra $5,000 to put towards your next home when you're ready for that. Who doesn't want an extra $5,000?
Yeah.
Or we could run some numbers and Myra could show you how you could be the landlord and how you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars by renting out this house and moving into your dream house too. So you can take $5,000 cash and pull it out, or Myra can show you how to make hundreds of thousands of dollars by renting out investment properties too. So choice is yours. Just
Sounds like a great program there. Very informative, and it sure helps renters understand that they need to start purchasing.
yeah. In fact, the people that rent from me, I always give them the option of doing, we call it a financial wellness campaign. And, most people are like, hey, this is how you fix your credit. My financial wellness campaign teaches them how to fix their credit, how to increase their income, how to save money, and how to have an overall financial wellness package. And so anybody that we turn down for financing immediately, we don't turn them down permanently. We put them on this plan so that if they follow it, they will be able to purchase a home in a year. Without a doubt, it'll be.
That's good.
Yeah, no matter what their situation is, or if they've got multiple issues, maybe they've got credit, income, and asset issues, right? They're just a hot mess. We can help those people. They just literally follow this plan, and it works. So,
wow. Yeah, we'll have to do credit repair tips next time.
yeah.
That's a good one.
There's so much more than credit too. Financial wellness. How do you increase your income? Most people think that they're compartmentalized forever, and that the only way to increase income is by getting a promotion. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But there's a lot of alternative routes to increase your income. I mean, we just talked about property investing a minute ago with Myra, right? So many ways that if you can follow a plan, that you can get more income, more assets, better credit. There's just sky's the limit if you follow the right plan.
Yes. Yeah. Well, good. That was great information. You'll send me over the link. We can help some renters get out there and look for a home to own their own asset.
Yes, exactly. Be the producer, not the consumer, peeps.
Yep. If anybody has any questions, David's number is in the description box on the live up above. And
yeah, and if you're renting, call Myra, like now, call right there. Text
right
here. Yes, immediately. Don't waste your $103,000 anymore. Call Myra.
Okay. For some reason, I don't have any internet connection. It just went kaplink.
What?
It's the storms hitting bad. We're going to sign off now. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for your time today.
See you next week.